The X7 is BMW's answer to those who desire 7 Series levels of luxury mixed with the space and practicality of an SUV. It's a little late to the party, though, considering the Mercedes-Benz GLS, its chief rival, has already reached to the end of its term as new generation starts reaching markets globally. But, as they say, better late than never. So here it is then, BMW's largest SUV, or SAV as BMW prefers calling them.
The first thing that hits you about the exterior of the X7 is the sheer size of this thing. It is a big SUV indeed, and it looks the part. It's got a very imposing face. Of course, there is this huge kidney grill over here. This has been a point of contention for the X7 because some say it's way too big, some like it, but I'm going to leave that to you. You're the one who's going to buy the car, so it's for you to decide whether you like it or not. Next to the grille are these really sleek headlamps, full LED of course. They are really thin compared to the rest of the car. I mean, I would have personally preferred a slightly bigger setup, but again, it's entirely your choice, it's personal opinion, and you decide whether you like it or not.
The rear looks quite attractive with its slim LED tail lamps, albeit not as flamboyant as the front of the X7, some might say. The X7 is rather a large car, measuring over 5 meters in length and 2 meters in width on the tape. The 3,105mm long wheelbase is actually more than the standard 7 Series, but about 105mm shorter than the long wheelbase sold here in India. The dashboard, center console, 12.3-inch all-digital instrument panel, 12.3-inch central screen at all have been lifted straight from the X5. Passengers occupying the front seats are treated to electrically adjustable seats with more ways of adjusting than you can count on your fingers, and heated or cooled cup holders.
And if you're someone who fancies themselves an X7, then I'm pretty sure you're interested more in the rear seat than the front, which is why I'm here. Now, this is indeed a very comfortable place to be in. The X7 gets 2-axle air suspension, which is why this is so cushiony, soft ride, and it just goes over bad patches with so much confidence without much of it filtering inside. It's genuinely a very comfortable place to be in. There's plenty of space here. I mean, there's ample legroom. I can increase that by pushing the rear seat forward or backward, forward. I can recline the rear seat. I get individual armrests. So there's this really nice cushion also around. This has a 5-zone air conditioner, so front passengers get their own zone. The rear seat, both of us get our own individual controls, and even the last row gets a dedicated zone. There's rear seat infotainment, which brings the screen, and you can plug in a USB, plug in your headphones, watch something. You can even control the car, the audio settings, everything from here. I also get sun blinds, which I can activate with the push of a button. I can actually control both the sun blinds, left and right. There are actually 2 vents for rear seat occupants. There's one on the B pillar, there's one down right here. My only problem, and that's actually me nitpicking, but the cup holders are placed really down below, so you'll have to bend down every time you want to pick them up and pick them out. And unlike the ones in the front, these are not heated or cooled. I mean, with the rear seat being the focus of the car, maybe they could have given that as a feature. But other than that, it's a really comfortable place to be in. It's a very, very good chauffeur-driven car, let me tell you that, and everyone who's sitting in the back seat will be really happy. As far as the last row is concerned, it's actually not that bad, especially for a person my height. It's pretty comfortable. There's enough leg room. Of course, I can't stretch my legs, but for short journeys, it's perfectly fine. Taller individuals might find it a little cramped, but it's pretty okay for 2 people to sit abreast. The good thing here is I get dedicated air conditioning zone over here, and I can increase the feeling of roominess as the glass roof extends all the way back, so I can open it and I get a generous glass area over here, so it doesn't feel claustrophobic by any measure. Well, in case you do decide to get behind the wheel of the X7, then I'm happy to report it's a very pleasant driving experience. The steering is nice and light at city speeds, and it weighs up really well. It can cruise along at triple-digit speeds very effortlessly, gobbling up all the imperfections in its path, keeping everyone comfortable. It is a big SUV, and that can get a little intimidating, especially when you're trying to go through cramped streets or negotiate a tight parking spot. But other than that, yeah, it's a nice car to drive. No complaints here. The engine in this X-Drive 30D variant is a straight 6 3-liter diesel with about 265 bhp and 620 Newton meters of torque, same as the X5. And in case you're thinking that with the added weight of the X7 it'll feel a little sluggish or maybe even a little underpowered, well, you can put those worries to rest, because that is not the case. This car can get a move on if it needs to.
The X-Drive 30D variant we got our hands on borrows the X5 straight 6 3-liter diesel in the same state of tune, developing 256 bhp of max power and 620 Newton meter of peak torque. With a 0 to 100 kilometer time of 7 seconds, it is fairly quick too. Comfort is priority, as it should be, and it's fairly evident by the way the X7 performs on the road. The 2-axle air suspension with damper control keeps the ride nice and cushy, ironing out any imperfections the road throws at it. That said, BMW is a pioneer of sorts when it comes to sporty SUVs, and X7 too displays those qualities in the case you decide to get behind the wheels. Of course, if you're looking for driving thrills, then you're barking up the wrong tree. But there is a certain level of agility and sharpness it possesses, especially in the sports mode you would normally expect from an SUV this size. It's very spacious, very luxurious, and very comfortable. The size can make it a little cumbersome in cramped streets or tight parking spots, but there are plenty of cameras and electronics to help guide you. Besides, realistically speaking, most buyers will be driven around in one, so handling it is your shopper's headache. With the new GLS some time away from the launch in India, this is quite easily the best 7-seat luxury SUV you can buy for roughly 1 crore or so.